So the question is, based off of Strava segments, can I rank in the top 10 of all riders that have recorded times going uphill on this trail? Downhill's easy, uphill's the question. So let's see if I can make it happen. Stay tuned, here goes nothing. I've got the Strava app going. We're in for some serious climbing. Let's see if I can get anywhere close to the top 10 of riders on Strava. And let's see if I got what it takes or if they're gonna kick my rear end. Okay, starting out pretty steep. Here we go. All right. It was really steep getting out of the parking area. Really steep. But let's see if we can find a rhythm. Wow, some of this is crazy. It is really slick out here. I just stopped for a second to go over an obstacle and slid almost down the hillside. But this is more like it in here. A little more rideable. I got to get some miles behind me if I want to get within that top 10. It's looking pretty ambitious at this point. But there's no quit around here. Just got to dig in a little bit. It's technical. What a great challenge. Heart rate's high. We're having a good time. These sections like this that flatten out are welcome. It gets really punchy for a quick climb, then it levels off. Just hit multiple switchbacks early on, and I think I'm past most of the switchbacks. They are just so steep, really hard to make. So I've had enough of those. More of that good stuff. But there's always a steep uphill waiting around the next corner for me. See, this is really like this, quick down and then a steep up. Really common on this trail. That one I made. Sometimes you gotta hop off. There we go. It's a little slick too. So my clipless shoes, not to make too many excuses, but they're not doing me any favors. There you go. Really punchy climbs. The descent's gonna be fantastic, but really gotta earn it. So it doesn't quite flow going uphill as much as hoped. There we go. A little speed into that uphill. Time for some sunshine. First time on this trail, and only knew what I was getting into through the topo maps and reports online. And most people shuttle this and just go top down with downhill bikes. But for those of you who are subscribed and tuned in, you know that's not my style. You gotta ride up to earn your downhill. A lot of really interesting terrain features. That'll be fun on the downhill, but different root drops and rock drops, and it just looks like a hoot. And towards the end of this ride, coming down, I'll have at least 10 to 15 switchbacks. So I'm looking forward to that. Every now and then you'll hit sections like this, really steep, where I just trying to hike it out quick. Little hike a bike going uphill. Right around like 175 to 180 beats per minute. It is a great challenge going up this. Seeing how much endurance I got. More hiking, more steep, more uphill. Still gotta earn it. Look at that. It gets flat for 10 feet and then it climbs for 20. Woo! Lawler is no joke climbing. Made it several miles in, just keeps getting steep, and not a lot of opportunity to recover. So you're hiking your bike a little bit more than hoped, and depending on your shoe type, you're slipping around a pretty good amount too, depending on the surface and steepness. But overall, epic trail. Can't wait to ride several miles down, and what a great workout. So I'll have to come back and reattack. Lawler is no joke uphill. Nice job on that switchback. Good. Be my best shot going uphill. All right, I'm excited for the downhill. Let's jump in, see what it holds. Some of these old guys just came ripping by, and it seems like they had the trail pretty well dialed in. Pretty aggressive trail for no helmet. Seems like he knew what he was doing though. Flying through here pretty quick. That is a great trail. It's a whole lot more fun going down than coming up. That is cool. There's little kickers on the side there. I gotta go off those. I'm excited to try the switchbacks lower down because they're just one after another. A little painful coming up, but can't wait to go down them. See if I can make most of them. Wow. For this area, just outside of Oak Ridge, this is known to be one of the heavier duty trails, single track wise, just a little bit more technical. But boy, is it fun. All right, first switchback going down for me. Woo! Almost lost my front wheel sliding out there, but just hung on. A little slick on the trail, so I don't want to get too close to the edge. Woo! A little bouncy. There's some boulders right in the middle of the trail. Lots of loose twigs hitting you in the face. Oh, that was fun. Great trail though. Really just kind of a neat little hidden gem. I've ridden a lot of the trails around here, and this one's been on my list, but heard good things about it, just never been on it. And it's a great ride. There's only one down tree that I've seen so far. You get going pretty quick, and then suddenly there's a really intense rocky section, so you just got to check your speed. This style of riding goes from real casual to really heavy all of a sudden, and you're on kind of the side of a cliff, so you don't want to be too aggressive about it, or else you might end up rolling 200 feet downhill or more. A lot of step downs like that. Everywhere you look, there's something to launch off of, whether it's a flat rock or a berm on the side, or just a question of how much guts do you have and what kind of bike are you on. Like, look at this. This little like kicker, kind of fun on the side there. That is cool. You barely notice some of it going up, but it rolls amazing going down. You just gotta watch out for a lot of big loose rocks in certain sections. That's more like it. Check out this this section. Some really cool flowy berms. That is great. Somebody put a lot of work into those berms. That is fantastic. Woo. Whoever does maintenance on this trail has to be some sort of downhill rider, because there are so many jumps and berms and little bonus sections that you don't see on most cross-country style rides. This really looks like more of a purist downhill type trail. That was interesting. There was a switchback. I wasn't recording for it, but there was a switchback I tried to make, and there were two guys on the outside of the switchback, so I had to cut it really tight and just didn't quite make it. Kind of wiped out there, but thankfully I kind of dropped my bike and ran out of it. But it was a really steep, tight switchback. I should not have attempted it with two people kind of boxing me in on the outside, and they felt really bad about it. They said sorry for kind of cutting off your trail. But anyhow, lesson learned. Back on the trail, here we go. Another switchback, not too bad there. A lot more friendly going down those than up. Getting closer to the river, and it gets wetter the lower you are here. So just got to be extra careful that I don't totally eat it with about 100 yards left to go. Got to pay attention. It's slick, there's lots of leaves, and sometimes these leaves cover up rocks or roots, and you don't even know you're going for them until you're on them. All right, wow, that was a very interesting, challenging trail. So I certainly didn't make it up the whole thing, but what a great challenge and a beautiful trail. All right, so that was much tougher than anticipated. I climbed several miles, pretty much all uphill, biking and hike-a-bike, and kicked my rear end. But fun times, good training, pretty high elevated heart rate for a lot of that uphill, and then the downhill is just screaming fast. So you just got to be careful with it being a little slick, and it being fall this time of year. So yeah, fantastic trail, good workout. I need to reattack it with a kind of a different approach, but not to be underestimated. Lawler, going the uphill direction is really something else.